everybody, my name's Cara on Fire and welcome to a video on Dune Awakening. Recently, Dune did an interview with the community. This was a Reddit AMA, where they answered a bunch of community questions on the future of Dune. So this video will be pretty straightforward. We're going to go through a bunch of them and find out what is in store for the game in the future. First question is, will we ever be able to stack storage boxes? Ole answered, there are ways to do this already using half walls to create shelves. We are continuously looking into ways to improve QoL, and stacking storage boxes is on that list. Can you please add deposit all water option? Absolutely, and I'm glad to tell you that a deposit all water option is coming. Curious if there will be boss fights or raids or dungeons or any activities like that? Ole answered, we will continue to evolve our PvE content, including adding boss encounters as part of our future dungeons. Will there be a roadmap published soon? Yes, we intend to keep you in the loop on what's coming, and we will share our mid to long term plans very soon. However, they may not take the form of a static roadmap asset. What quality of life plans do you have in the pipeline? What are the PvE plans for the near future? Scott answered, we have an update in testing that contains a lot of quality of life updates, which we are aiming to release in early July. When we get closer to it being publicly testable, we will release the full patch notes. It contains too many changes for me to list here, but you'll be seeing it soon. For PvE plans for the future, each of our major updates will always continue new story content and new PvE content, which will release at the same time as our DLCs come out. Our goal is to have them release every 3 to 4 months. Will you be looking at a change so that we can name storage containers? Definitely, that is on the list of changes we want to make to improve the base and resource management. In a similar thread, they also mention that vehicle naming is something that will also be coming in the future. This will appear on the inventory dropdown in the base so you know which vehicle you are taking resources from. Are there any plans to make building easier, like being able to replace one floor for another without having to move everything and destroy the current floor? Ole answered, yes, we are planning to add the option to replace one piece or another without having to destroy it first. What are your plans to improve PvP? Right now it feels meaningless. There is no risk or reward. Killing someone on land only gives a few lootable items. Taking down someone in the air is fun, but all we get is a destroyed ornithopter. When you die, you just respawn and jump back in. There is no consequence, and that removes all the intensity from PvP. Joel answered, we have a lot of plans to address your points about respawn times and revives. Full loot is a decree that can be obtained via the Landsrad. There are control points in the deep desert already. We have no plans to reduce the deep desert size. As we work on the game, we will continue to work on making PvP more rewarding. Can we consolidate sietches and servers to see people more frequently? Joe answered, we will do this when it feels necessary. Right now, it seems that the game is heavily tied to vehicle movement. As someone who wants to be a desert wanderer relying heavily on walking the desert, are there any plans to add something like sandwalking? We will do walking without rhythm. Are there plans for map expansion? Not saying there's an issue with the size, but was purely curious. We have many plans to expand the game with additional maps in the future, and the Overland map is one of our vehicles to do so. The Dune universe has a lot of interesting locations and worlds to explore. Is there going to be a PvE only option for people to farm endgame materials, or is it going to be something you gate behind PvP? Scott answered, our plan is for the Landsrad to be the endgame PvE content, so we will continue to make adjustments to that feature until both of you and we are happy with it. It should feel rewarding for both solo and guild players and offer personal rewards in addition to faction-wide map rewards. In addition, we will have PvE maps and content in the future that will offer alternate ways to progress past the gear that is available in Hager Basin. Is there a plan to improve over the current circuit system for storage containers? Having water circuits to split water consumption? and having filters over circuits for containers. Joel says we're certainly looking into this. Is the third faction coming to the game, whose purpose was previously described to help keep the balance of power between Atreides and Harkonnen, going to be House Carino? Joel has confirmed it is not House Carino, and it is coming. Do you plan to enable character transfer to a different server in Siege, mainly to skip the main story and keep the level? Vilga says between Sieges coming soon, i.e. visiting with building rights. Between worlds will likely be possible in the future, but not in the short term. Can we expect further improvements to the social aspect of the game? I would love to see more emotes, costumes, towns, cities, and social elements being added to further immerse yourself in the world. For sure, we will keep adding to and evolving our social features in the game. There are more emotes and costumes on the way, and we'll keep evolving our existing social hubs with additional content and reasons to go there. Will you ever implement a minimap or map overlays so we can navigate easier while driving? Joel said no, we actually had one for a while and I asked the team to remove it. Minimaps draw the eye away from the world and distract from the experience. Instead, we moved the design to a more intentional focus on world elements. Are there any plans to increase rendering distance for vehicles in the deep desert? Vehicles pop in at around 500 meters, which makes it very difficult to react in time. Camille said we hear you and that is something we are actively investigating internally. Will hostile PVE animal types be added to the game to give us a mix of potential threats out in the world? We are considering more enemy types long term. Will we have dual daggers soon or the arrival of a dual Chris knife? We will add some form of dual wielding, but it will not be possible to mix and match weapons. Will there be more additions to the build menu, such as half floor pieces, half vertical walls, decor? We will add more building sets over time. My guildies and I would like to know why we can't all travel into the deep desert inside one assault ornithopter. Will you be implementing a change to solve this? It's currently like this for technical reasons, but we are looking to address this. What is stopping you from allowing us to host our own servers? Our server architecture is complex and we don't have a simple way to package it for players right now. In addition, releasing the server binaries makes it much easier for hackers and cheaters to exploit vulnerabilities. We will need to fix both of these problems before we can have players and non-hosts hosting a server. It also requires a lot of hardware to run all of the maps at the same time. If our map was like Conan Exiles, we would have launched a standalone version, but right now it would be a small amount of people that have the ability to set one up and operate it. Are there any plans to implement a way to change how your character looks, essentially accessing the character customization through some sort of cosmetic surgeon? Yes, this will be added in a future update. The team is already working on it, so expect some news on it soon when we start discussing our post-launch content releases. What are you going to do to handle losing your ornithopter when you DC or die in the deep desert? I've seen players lose it on the world map. This will come in multiple stages. We don't want you to lose your vehicle if you crash or disconnect from the game. In the next hotfix, we have made some improvements so that you have time to connect and get back in your vehicle. In a future patch, we will look at other ways to decrease the overall setback when losing a vehicle. We don't want this to be a catastrophic loss, especially for solo players. It's pretty obvious people are unhappy with the deep desert. Some critical frequent suggestions have been removing rockets from scout ornithopters, making the Orni take significantly more damage when crashing into the ground, giving us an AA weapon, make the deep desert more about faction versus faction, make a section of the deep desert vehicle-less. We are currently finalizing the plan for what we will do to address issues like this. We will share this plan once the details are worked out. The player market is really barren, barely used, prices are random, and functionality is lacking. Can you at least give us ability to see the market so that we could plan trips to go there accordingly? Regarding the exchange, we are looking at making it more accessible for players while keeping the need to go to the social hubs. And that is pretty much most of the big questions I saw in there. There are some absolutely Goliath questions as well, which would take a very long time to go through, but we tried to pick through all of them. There's a lot of duplicate questions in here as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, learning about new things about what's coming in the future at Dune Awakening. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below that weren't touched upon in this video. Either way, I hope you found this video informative. If you enjoyed it today, smash a like on it and subscribe for more Dune Awakening content. Thank you for watching, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!